Oh man, this is legitimately going to be the hardest RV review video I've made to this day because if I just wanted the most feature rich RV for the best price possible, this is the RV that I should have bought right here. Now, there's still reason why I went with the RV that I picked, and the RV that I picked is also here on the lot, so we're going to compare what this model has versus my Alliance Delta and then see if I made the right decision. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Myles with Firmly Unbound, and we are here at Blue Compass RV today in Tyler, Texas, which is just east of Dallas, about an hour and a half, kind of on the way to Louisiana. And we are taking a look at this Rockwood Mini Lite. The model number on this one here, the reason I have to go look at it is because I was looking at the Flagstaff version of this, is the 2515, so 2515S. You'll be able to see the floor plan layout and the specs on the screen. And like I said, Rockwood also has their brother or sister product in the Flagstaff, which was the one that I was looking at, but they make the exact same floor plans with just a slightly different color arrangement on the outside. And these are phenomenal trailers for the price. So you can already see on the outside, I'm just going to do a quick look around, and we're going to talk about so many different things in this video without it being like egregiously long. But first and foremost, I kind of just want you to get a look at the visual of this camper here. Take a look at it all the way around. And as we hop inside, show you the inside too. You can see the floor plan layout in here, kind of what we're working with. And then we're going to go straight over to the Alliance Delta 234RK. And we're going to look at that model because that's the one that I just purchased like less than 2 weeks ago. So you can see the layout here. It is nearly identical. There are some differences, but I want you to keep this image in your head of what this camper looks like. See the bathroom there? This wardrobe closet, that is just awesome. You have a wardrobe closet in the slide here. Residential queen size bed, storage drawers underneath there. I mean, this is a phenomenal camper. Now, right away, critiques or criticisms that I have of this camper: almost no countertop space here in the bathroom and almost no countertop space in the kitchen. It's also a little bit shorter than the Alliance Delta that I went with, but it has a little bit of a barreled ceiling, taller ceiling height, a little bit smaller TV, has 12-volt heat pads on the water tanks, so many different things. And then the specs on it, it is only 25 feet 10 inches. Mine is almost 28 feet, and it's 5,800 pounds, 5,900 pounds. So I think they're right around the same weight, but this one is a bit smaller for sure. But again, just take a look at the outside. Take a look at, I mean, look at this, y'all. Look. Look at how big this storage is. This is huge. This is huge. And again, as we go through this, we're going to go through so many different things that make this camper so great. And then what I'm going to get into at the end, why I still chose an Alliance, even though I do think this is a more feature-rich camper for the price. You see the front end there. And finally, last thing, let's look at the price. Price on this, because I have it in here, $39,995 for this one right here. And this is a 2025 model. Okay, so we looked at that. Let's go over to the Alliance Delta. It's right over here. So that's a Forest River Rockwood. And then right here, you have the Alliance Delta 234RK. And perfect, you have them side by side. Right away, I mean, this is a subjective thing, but I think it's pretty undeniable. The Rockwood in the Flagstaff, for this size range and weight range, is just a better looking camper. And I'm going to start getting into things now. Do not hear this as me picking apart the Alliance Delta. Keep in mind, I spent my own hard-earned money that I have been working for years to buy an RV, to buy this camper right here. So do not hear this as just a heavy critique of the Delta. Just hear this as a legitimate, honest, truthful comparison between these two campers, because they're almost the same floor plan and very close in price, but very different. So first of all, right away, you see on these Rockwood Mini Lites, you get a 2 30-pound propane bottles standard. The Alliance Delta Ultralight comes with 2 20-pound propane bottles standard. You have a much smaller storage compartment. in here. They both have aluminum framing. However, the Rockwood and this storage door is, oh no, it's open. You see through here, you have your storage space there. Aluminum framing, not nearly as big. It's wide, but it's not as tall. And then this is even like, no latch doors here on the outside. Like you can see, you have a latch door here. I would have definitely preferred that over having these metal clips right there. This has electric stabilizers on it, standard. This has power manual stabilizers on it. That's not a big deal to me. That really doesn't bother me at all. Um, as we go back this way, this has a standard leaf spring suspension on it, whereas this has a torsion axle suspension system on it, which I would have definitely preferred that also. You have some additional storage on some of these. That's not the same floor plan, though. I need to not worry about that. Both have a ladder installed on the back, although, yeah, okay. It looks like that's all consistent. This is a little bit longer of a travel trailer, so I am getting a longer travel trailer than what I got. Look at that, those slide toppers already installed on top of the slide outs. That would concern me a little bit if it's super windy outside, but the Delta does not come standard with the slide toppers on it. You can see they have the hardware equipment there to equip them, but it is not standard. And then as we go inside, dual entry, just like the other model we're taking a look at. It does not come with the Lippert shade already installed. Before we get too far into this review here, I want to let you know real quick about my other YouTube channel, Firmly Unbound. I would be doing myself a complete disservice if I was putting all this work into that channel and the branding of Firmly Unbound and what it stands for if I didn't tell you guys about it. So you can check that out. There's a link down below in the comments and description. Firmly Unbound is essentially like a lifestyle. I have been living out these principles of what it means to live firmly unbound for at least the last 6 months of my life and really the last 10 years of my life to different degrees. And it has produced unbelievable results in my life where I'm literally living a life I feel like I do not even deserve in so many different degrees that you might not even imagine. But I talk about on that Firmly Unbound YouTube channel, so you should go check that out. It's very deep. There's a lot of stuff there that you're going to be shocked to hear, but I think it's really important. So go check that out if you feel inclined to look at it. Now, as we step inside, you do have more countertop space along the back because instead of having the fridge right here, they put the fridge right there. I actually do prefer that. You get the much larger sofa, which I also prefer. I definitely like having that. Oh, this is interesting. This is actually different than the one that I got. The one that I got has manual pull strings on all three of these. So all three recline. This is actually a powered recliner on each side and then the flip down armrest. I don't really have a preference one way or the other. There is more floor space in here. It is bigger. You do have a bigger pantry. Ceiling height is a little bit shorter. Bigger TV in here. Pantry space, again, much bigger than in the Rockwood, but this is a couple feet longer. Going into here, more countertop space in the bathroom, even though they are both pass-through bathrooms. Similar size shower, but there is no shower miser system in here, which we'll talk about what that is when we get back to the Rockwood. And then this has a plastic foot flush toilet, queen size bed, and no wardrobe slide out. So no slide out for additional wardrobe storage like what we see in the Rockwood. And that's pretty much everything in here. So just wanted to give you a look at this. And then we're going to go back to the Rockwood over here and start talking about a bunch of different differences between these RVs. So as we walk back over here, and I'd be curious your thoughts already, looking at the difference of these two, which one you would go with just based off of the stuff we've talked about so far. And as we go through this video, obviously, I'm going to be so curious your guys' thoughts on what you think. We do see some differences right here. Like this has a 6-gallon gas and electric water heater, not a tankless on-demand water heater like the Delta has. So the Delta does have that tankless water heater, which I think I would prefer. And then as we look at this one again, you have frameless windows on this Rockwood, which just gives it a cleaner look on the outside. One of the only RVs with these frameless windows on the outside in this size and price range. Oh, also that Delta was priced at $44,995, so it was more expensive as well. The front end with the windshield looks great. I love the look. Now, these windshields can be prone to leaks. That is something that can potentially happen. So, plus they can also chip. So it looks really clean. I don't know. I haven't seen any customers or anybody that I've encountered that have had issues with these windshields, but I have seen stuff on the internet that I've come across where people have had issues. So haven't had any real world experience of seeing problems with that, but no, it could be a problem. And as we go through this video, I'm gonna break down my mental thought process on how I came to my decision, and hopefully that can help you guys out as well. Because at the end of the day, I think these are both great trailers. I think both of them will make the end consumer happy with their decision, but I want you guys to have as much information as possible. So again, we looked at just way bigger storage space underneath here than the Delta has. Now that can be a good and a bad thing because this does have, let's see here. Does it have the, yeah, it has a 17,046 pound cargo carrying capacity. The more space you have in here, the more likely you are to load up more weight in there. And you always just want to be conscientious of how much weight you're putting inside your RV. Again, the slide topper is already installed. The torsion axle is a big deal. And then gosh, I forgot to check if my Delta has 12-volt heat pads on the water tanks. I don't know that it does. Let's go back and check real quick. We're gonna run over here. Let's go run. I don't like to, cut out and have edits in my footage. I like you guys to just come along in a real authentic experience with me as I go through this different stuff. Let's see. Yeah, no 12-volt heat pads on this Delta either. So that is another thing that it does not have. Now, does have Asdel sidewalls, does have a full-time RVing warranty, and again, tankless on-demand water heater here. Okay, let's go back over here. Also, more spray ports on the outside of the Alliance Delta than you have on the Rockwood Mini Lite or the Flagstaff equivalent of this model here. And again, if you're interested in any of these RVs or just shopping for your next RV, there's a link down below in the comments and description to help you get started with finding your next RV at over 100 different Blue Compass stores across the country. So use that link down below when you are ready to get started. Okay, you can see a solar panel up on the roof, single AC. Let's go ahead and hop inside and talk about what's going on inside. But Rockwood pays super close attention to details, y'all. That's a friction hinge door with a rubber stopper right here to prevent that from running into the wall, and a plastic clip to hold the door open if you want to stay open for sure. Love all those things. Here's all the standard equipment here and all the standard components in the construction of this Rockwood. Another thing that is a kind of considerable thing is they do all aluminum framing, even up into the roof, where almost every other RV brand, and I'm sure Alliance is the same, although I have not seen a for sure breakdown of their roof construction, but they almost all use wood framing in the roof and then aluminum framing throughout the sides and stuff like that, whereas Rockwood has that aluminum framing all the way up into the roof, underneath their dinettes and all kinds of different stuff. So definitely like some of the most superior construction when it comes to travel trailers in this size and price range. The only thing you could get better than this is if you started going up in price to some of those travel trailers that have the extreme off-road capabilities. They get very expensive. As we step inside again, this already has that shade installed here that can be used for privacy here, so you don't have to purchase that additional piece of equipment. I'm actually really surprised Alliance doesn't have that standard in their model. And as we go inside, now consideration number one, where I chose my Delta over this is just a little bit smaller in this living space. And I really wanted a 3-cushion sofa that I could lay out on. So they do make this with like a 2.5 cushion sofa. So instead of having this big clunky armrest, you can have kind of like a half cushion there. So you can kind of lay out on it. But I really do like that the Delta has that 3-cushion sofa with more room to lay out on. You have your pantry right here. It's a decent sized pantry for sure, not nearly as large as the Deltas though. Neither of them have carpet in the slide outs. This one is using like this woven PVC flooring material here that you see in that slide. And then they're using the Millersburg collection furniture. This furniture does look very nice. Oh yeah, very comfortable as well. Plenty of room in here. It's kind of bleh on like the color scheme, but I don't mind that at all. I kind of like the neutral colors that are in here. The Delta is a little bit more vibrant in the colors, I would say, although it's, it's still very neutral in the Delta as well. So both of them, I would have no problem with the interior look and design. Back here, you do have a larger oven in this Rockwood than what you get with the Delta. Although it doesn't look like it's any deeper. It's just taller. So you could fit a taller item here into this oven. I don't even know how much I'll be using the oven, if at all, so that wasn't like a big consideration for me. Start going through the storage. You can see your storage here, pop-up outlet. And I'm not going to be able to draw like every single difference between the two campers, but stuff that I do know for sure is different, I'll definitely point out. And then I'm going to show everything in here like a standard RV as I normally would. Open that up. I don't know what the heck happened here. I just noticed that. I'm not going to just glance over this, but this piece of trim um, did come out here. You can see, this kind of shows you how they construct this at least. This will get fixed, obviously, and maybe this is why I had to actually open this RV up myself and kind of get it ready. And it looks like they were kind of trying to do some stuff to fix whatever happened here. But that is something that can happen on any RV. This isn't like terribly uncommon, and it's not super hard to fix yourself. So that doesn't like concern me. This is just the realities of RVing. Stuff like this on trim pieces can definitely happen to any RV at any price range. So that's just something to show. But it's just these like little nails that hold it in place, so you can see how that could kind of have a ability to come out of place there. Um, but anyways, as we keep going, much smaller kitchen space in here, but still a very workable kitchen space. They give you a nice big sink in here. Because this is a review that's focused on this camper specifically, I don't want it to feel like I'm bashing this RV. I'm just pointing out and drawing the differences to why I chose one over the other. Really good cabinet and drawer construction. You can see here, this is all, let's see what they're doing here. Yeah, this is all like an actual wood, or is that, yeah, it looks like this like a stained material. I don't see it being a like a wrap right there. It looks like the screw kind of just sprayed that wood a little bit, but it's a real good solid drawer construction, magnet latches, or sorry, cabinet construction. Big window along the back wall. Got a spot here for some sponges and whatnot. Your drawers are doing a traditional plywood drawer construction with staples, but these are pretty thick for that drawer. Now, what they don't do is they don't have, you can see here, there's a bit of flex to this. So if you add a lot of weight into these drawers, they can potentially like fall out from the bottom. Now, what Alliance does is they do a little like support piece underneath here, and they put a little piece right here to attach that or adhere that into to give it more support underneath the drawer that you don't see in here. Not a huge deal, but it's just something where you just got to be really conscientious of how much weight you load into these drawers, especially with this being on the back side of the camper where you're going to get a lot of movement back here as you're going up and down the road. Going to the refrigerator, I wish every dang RV that was in a smaller classification like these travel trailers had a refrigerator like this where it opens from both sides like so. I just love that. I think that is so neat. And my Delta does not have that. You have your freezer portion here with a tray over the top. See right here, both are going to have composite panel sidewalls. Rockwood and Flagstaff just use a brand that's not Asdel. And then these do have an 1800 watt inverter with inverted outlets. That allows you to run the outlets off of battery power without having to be plugged into like a 30 amp power connection. My Delta does not have that. So again, another thing here that is really nice that you see. Also, you see this strut right here? That means this is a weight assisted entry step. So lifting that step up into the entry door is going to be weight assisted for you, which my Delta doesn't have. And that's kind of nice. This is one of the only travel trailers out there that I've ever seen that has that. So really, really great to see that in the Rockwood. Right here, you have your power controls, very similar to what's in my Delta as far as just functions, except for the fact that this has a 12-volt heat pad on it. So you have that 12-volt heat pad on your water tanks that mine does not have. That's going to be great if you're towing the RV in close to freezing or below freezing temperatures so that your water tanks don't freeze while you're going down the road. In any other circumstance, more often than not, your furnace will be enough to prevent your RV from freezing. Most people, if they're camping in below freezing temperatures, they're running their furnace as well, which will keep those water tanks and water lines from freezing in most circumstances. A little bit smaller TV with the 32-inch screen TV there. It is a Connect TV with a JBL soundbar built in right above your dining table. Dining table is a legless dining table here. It can collapse down and make into a bed for additional sleeping space. No heat vents in the floor. You can see they're running the heat out of that little spot there underneath the dinette. And then open this up. Have some storage space under there. Oh, there we go. It also comes with some outdoor kitchen accessories that mount into a rack that goes on the side of the RV there. So that's an 18-inch cast iron griddle cooktop that you have for that. Your windows are going to have pull down blackout shades. The Delta also has that as well. And then you have your AC here. It is a Whisper Quiet AC. It is dual ducted through this trailer. So you have ducting down this way and ducting down that way. Not all RVs in this size range have that dual ducting system. And that is pretty much everything in this space. What does this say here? Egon. Oh, this is about the subflooring there. So basically just saying it has a plywood flooring with a lower carbon footprint. So they say. As we step this way, you have your spot where you can mount a Wi-Fi router here. If you guys have Wi-Fi recommendations for RVs, please let me know. That's one of the biggest things I need to figure out with my RV is how I'm going to go about Wi-Fi because I will be working on the road inside of my RV. And I don't know if I should go with Starlink or if I should go with like TravelFi Wi-Fi or go with a Wi-Fi router from WineGuard. If you guys share your experiences of what you know, that would be greatly helpful. Now, as we go back this way, my Delta has a plastic foot flush toilet. This has a porcelain foot flush toilet. So definitely prefer that. Although this is not as big of a bathroom. And you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know what the width is of this Rockwood. It feels a little bit more narrow than the Delta. And I don't know if that's true or not. I know there's 7 and 8 foot wide campers out there. I don't know if it's just having this extra storage space that makes it feel more narrow and just the position of the entry door. But you can see this toilet, it is right up against that glass door. I mean, it is really, really close. And speaking of which, as we're here in the bathroom now, I totally forgot to get one of our, products here that we love to talk about on the channel. That was the first upgrade I had for my RV, or first piece of equipment I had for my RV, which is here inside the truck. We have liquefied. Let's go ahead and bring this back with us. I got a whole box of liquefied products there. You can find liquefied on Amazon. This is going to be a black tank toilet treatment. I'm going to leave this over here for when I do my videos for TikTok and Instagram. Let y'all know to go find that on Amazon to make sure your black tanks are smelling fresh and decomposing properly. As we go back into here, so a smaller bathroom, not a whole lot of countertop space. And another thing, let me look at this too. Oh yeah, see, they have a solid surface countertop in this as well, which the Delta does not have. That's really impressed. You guys have to understand how impressed I am with the Rockwood and Flagstaff products. I know a lot of people on the internet like to just bash on Forest River, but man, these are really, really well made campers. They really are. So you have this composite panel, or not composite panel, sorry. You have this ceramic like solid surface countertop here. Also should note, like with these composite sidewalls, you can feel right here, like the sidewalls are solid. So I love that. Whenever you have those composite panel sidewalls, those walls just feel really, really solid on their construction. So we step back into this bathroom. Again, toilet real close to that shower door, but it does have a glass shower door. My Delta has like that sliding lightweight curtain. Not sure if I would prefer one over the other. The glass kind of concerns me a little bit just because if there's any reason this comes undone or you forget to latch this, one of these panes can definitely break. And I've seen that happen more than once, even with just RVs getting transported to a dealership. So that is something that this is not always preferred, but it definitely looks nicer. Again, porcelain foot flush toilet. You have this shower miser system. My Delta does not have this. This is really nice. This is in all the Rockwood and Flagstaff products. But this is going to be a water recirculation system. So every drop of water in your water tanks is precious, right? Because when you take a shower, this water is all draining into your gray tank and filling that gray tank up. And as soon as that's full, you have to go dump the gray tank. So you want to mitigate how often you have to do that. This here allows this water to recirculate until it gets hot. This will change colors, and then you can flip this so that it sends water to the shower head. Love that. Great ceiling height in here. You can see I have the bigger vent fan in here. Love that. If I remember correct, I don't think my Delta has that bigger vent fan. Turn the light on in here. There we go. We didn't have any lights on in the bathroom. shower height should be just fine as I step inside of here. Let's see. Oh yeah, great shower height. I'm about 6'2", maybe close to 6'3" with my shoes on, and it's probably about 6'1" to right here at the shortest point, and then into the skylight you could probably be about 6'5" and fit in there. Plenty of room to move around as this does have a little bit of a wider base. Um, let's see here. It's kind of interesting too because the shower door does like have the you can open it from either way. So once you have this unlatched, you would when you're getting out would open it right here. But when it's in the in the open position, latched open, then that stays open right there. But I thought it was kind of weird how you have to like step over the toilet to get out. But in all reality, when you're actually showering in there, you'll open it the other way. But you can see how large the base is in here. It's a plastic two-piece shower. Lots of floor space in there. The Delta that I got also does have a lot of floor space in the bathroom as well. Storage space in here is pretty dang good. If you want extra storage, I mean, this really is delivering it with all that space there. You have nice LED lighting up underneath the cabinetry, and then you have your plumbing and water lines back behind here. You can see kind of how some of that looks back there. And then this here is not one of those ceramic like solid surface countertops. This is more that wrapped traditional style countertop. Traditional for lightweight travel trailers, at least. Here, this is a door that gives it kind of a finished off look, but there's not actually any usability in that space in there. Then you go into the bedroom, and I absolutely love the fact that this has this wardrobe closet on it. And this was the biggest thing that made this a top contender on my list. You have this drawer space here, or shelving space there, and then you have this clothing rod all the way across here. I love having this extra bit of storage, and just the flow of the bedroom in here just feels really nice. I really, really enjoy it. Rockwood also does some really nice things where, like underneath the bed here, you can see they give you this handle to find where to lift that up. They use aluminum supports underneath here instead of wood for the framing. You have your storage space underneath here, and then they give you these 3 drawers that pull out. Drawers aren't really necessary other than the ability to get to that storage without having to lift the bed, but it does take away from the amount of like total overall open space that you have for storage underneath the bed, which is, to get all of that back, you'd have to basically take those drawers out completely, and then you'd have open holes right there. This does come with a better mattress standard. Some people actually may find that this mattress will work for them and they don't need to upgrade it. That's another a bit more premium thing you see with the Rockwood. Has outlets here, USB ports, and what's this switch for? Oh, okay, that's for the lights on the ceiling. Reading lights over here for each individual, love that. And then you can see these outlets that have that inverter circuit running to the inverter to run them off the battery have that sticker on them. Windshield up front is pretty nice, kind of cool to have. Again, we kind of addressed the concerns with that. Storage space all the way through the top here. This is a 30 amp RV just like mine is, so there's only one AC. Does have a big vent fan here in the bedroom though, and then you have 4 AC ducts coming back into the bedroom. So that's pretty impressive. Spot for a TV there, and there is another inverted outlet up there, so you can run that TV off of the battery if you ever found yourself needing to. Second entry is mostly just so you can get to the bathroom with the slide outs closed. When you close your slide out, this door is going to be blocked from the other side, so you will not be able to get in from that direction. So you can still get into the bathroom going down the road through this door right here. You also have a shade already installed on that window, and you have storage space through here. This carpeted area extends out so far because that's all your pass-through storage underneath the travel trailer. So that's why you see that there. That does kind of limit your walking space around the bed, and then I didn't bother to put these steps out, but obviously those would be outside the door when you are at your campsite and have those in the down position. And even that one has a strut assist on it as well. And again, no floor vents anywhere through here. And then finally, oh yeah, this mattress is much better than most mattresses that come standard on travel trailers, and certainly way better than the one that came on my Delta. You have these 2 pocket doors. They kind of come together to close off this space. And that's pretty much everything in here. You can see this little stopper there. It's going to prevent that from catching that spot. Not really anywhere to hang anything in this bathroom though. That's a little interesting. I just noticed like there's not really any hooks anywhere or a whole lot of wall space to put stuff to hang. So interesting with that. So many considerations that just go into picking an RV, you know, and at the end of the day, it really comes down to like what are your non-negotiables, and then just making a decision and pulling the trigger. And I'm going to get to that in just a second because that was a big determining factor too. That's just about everything on the inside. Obviously, if you have any questions for me, let me know down below in the comments. I love to talk to y'all in the comments, so please ask away, and I will do my best to respond to as many as possible. Or there may be another um, person here in the comments that could also answer questions for you as well. So as we step back outside, we went through most of the stuff outside also. So now let me get into why I went with the Delta over this, even though I do not want this to be a a thing that is trying to persuade you one way or the other. My only goal here has always been and always and forever will be to give you the unbiased information as factually and correct as I possibly can to the extent of knowledge that is in my brain for you guys to make a decision for yourself on what you can and cannot live with when it comes to picking out your own RV. And I don't care what brand it is. I don't care what brand it is. I don't care where you buy it from. Doesn't matter to me. I just want you guys to feel confident when you go into purchasing your RV, or as confident as possible. So, this is an awesome trailer. I love it. I would be perfectly happy if I had bought this RV, and I don't want this to sound like too harsh of a criticism towards this brand of camper here as well, because again, I really love it, and I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that will buy a camper like this. In fact, there are, I mean, hundreds of people out there that own Rockwoods and Flagstaffs that absolutely love them. They are a huge brand that's been making campers for 50 years, and they have figured out a lot of stuff along the way to make a exceptional camper. And they have their Mini Lite brand, they have their Super Light brand, they have their Classic brand. All of these are going to come in varying size ranges, floor plans, weight ranges for whatever it is that you want. They also make fifth wheels. So, why did I choose a Delta even though I love this camper here? Why did I choose a Delta even though it seems this has a lot more features standard than the Delta at a cheaper price than the Delta? The reason I went with the Alliance Delta is because I have a better peace of mind purchasing from Alliance than I do purchasing from Forest River. And there's a couple reasons for that. Reason number one is I have filmed RVs with virtually every RV manufacturer out there that sells at a big major retailer at this point. I filmed almost everything at least once. Before I had even filmed a good number of Alliance RVs, they were really doing an intentional job of making me feel welcomed, included, important, and that all really mattered to me. Coley and Brady, the owners of Alliance, have talked to me many times. I've gone out to dinner with them. I've gone out to dinner with Joe Mel, who works for Alliance, all on them inviting me to these things, not me like reaching out to them trying to get invited to these things, them putting in the effort to do this. I also see what the ownership experience is like for Alliance RV owners, and Alliance is an independently owned company, unlike Forest River, who is owned by Berkshire Hathaway, who is a major corporation, obviously. And I think there is value in purchasing from a smaller, more independent company in terms of what their customer service reach is able to do. As companies get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, it just gets harder and harder and harder and harder to control quality, control customer support, and support the amount of people that are out there in the market that have these products. Alliance is getting bigger, that is for sure. But the fact that they're independently owned, the fact that I have spent more time with the Alliance ownership team off of their efforts to do that for me makes a considerable difference to me. Um, I don't know. There's one person I know at Forest River Flagstaff that I've had a longer than maybe like 5 minute long conversation with. And I know like someone in the marketing department at Forest River Flagstaff in Rockwood, and that's about it. And that's not to say that I have to like meet the owners or be sweet talked into buying an RV. It is just showing that these people at Alliance really care, and that makes a difference. Like they really are spending time to try their best to differentiate themselves from other people that just, you know, aren't doing that. And maybe they are. Maybe I'm just not on their radar like that. That's perfectly fine. I don't go out of my way at all, certainly, to try to like, smooch my way into getting benefits from these manufacturers or anything. I'm actually very reserved. When I go to RV shows or any big RV events, I want to go film RVs and film them as easily and seamlessly as possible. And then I want to go back home or back to my hotel or whatever and go to bed and come back and do it the next day. I don't want to spend a lot of time talking to people. I don't want to do all that stuff. But Alliance nonetheless went out of their way to make sure that I felt important when I came to do stuff and work with them in ways that no other brand has. Brinkley's like the closest to that. Brinkley's done a lot of really cool stuff too to really take care of us people that come and help them market their brand. But every other brand out there may have been one person at those brands, like Christy Spencer at Keystone, for instance, and some of the reps at Keystone helped me out a ton over the years as I first got started doing this. And I have a ton of admiration and respect for people within the Keystone departments and things like that. But I've never met like the owners of Keystone or the owners of Thor who ultimately own Keystone, who again, another pretty mega corporation that own all those brands. And that's what made me go with Alliance more than anything else. I know that's kind of a long-winded explanation, but I don't know how else to explain it because this literally, like pound for pound, feature for feature, price to price, is a better camper in a lot of ways than the Alliance Delta. But I wanted the other things, the peace of mind that I know I have with that Alliance Delta. That a lot of other people have too. These aren't things that are just specific to me. I mean, the Alliance team is very hands-on with their customer service experience. And I know no RV manufacturers out there. There's going to be people down below in the comments, I know already, that probably haven't even made it to this point in the video that talk about their horrible experience with owning an Alliance. And that will be consistent with every other brand out there. Give Brinkley a few years too, and they're going to have people out there that are, bad talking their experience with owning a Brinkley, I'm sure. It's just the nature of RVs. People, I've found more often than not, people do not know the maintenance and requirements that go into maintaining an RV, and most of the errors and issues they have are self-inflicted, or they're just things that are the nature of owning an RV. When you tow stuff down the road, things shake and rattle, and sometimes water lines come disconnected. That's just the nature of owning an RV. That could happen to any RV out there, and for some people, that just ruins their whole experience. It's all about having level expectations going into it to begin with. But that's why I went with the Delta. That's not to say you should go buy a Delta if you're looking at travel trailers in this range, because this may be a better fit for you. This is a smaller profile than that Delta that I picked, and it's a great floor plan. I mean, this would be easier to tow around than that Delta just off the fact that it's shorter. But I don't know. It's such a tough decision, y'all. I understand. I sympathize with you guys when it comes to picking out an RV because it is such a tough decision. It is so hard to have that high level of confidence going into making a purchase. Even myself, someone that is literally around RVs like every day of the week, had such a difficult time picking out an RV. And I was literally like neck and neck between deciding on this camper right here or a bunk model of this brand and that Alliance Delta. And I went with the Delta simply based off the fact that they are a smaller, independently owned company that I just trust the customer service experience to be a little bit more focused from that brand. But other than that, this is an amazing camper. So definitely don't let my decision rule out something like this camper here, because this camper is awesome. Like I said, I think I'd be perfectly happy with this. And in a perfect world, I would love to buy both of them so I could really compare the ownership experience and see if my thoughts in my head of what could happen actually played out. But that's all I got for y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Hopefully it wasn't too long-winded, because gosh, I'm getting tired of hearing myself talk. So I'm gonna get out of here. If you're interested or looking for your next RV, you can use the link down below in the comments and description to find over 100 different stores across the United States, so you can find something close to you to start shopping for your next RV. That's all I got for y'all. Until next time, live firmly unbound.